Took my family away from my Carolina home. Had dreams about the West and started to roam. 6 long months on a dust-covered trail. They say heaven's at the end, but so far it's been hell. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. We were digging and shifting 5 to 5, selling everything we found just to stay alive. Gold flowed free like the whiskey in the bars. Sinning was the big thing, Lord, and Satan was a star. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. And blood lined the streets. Men were shot down for the sake of having fun, or just to hear the noise of their 44 guns. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. Now my widow, she weeps by my grave. Tears flow free for her man couldn't save. Shot down in cold blood by a gun that carried fame, all for the useless and no good, worthless claim. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, YouTubers and friends, how are all of you doing tonight? Great to see you, GoPro Unlimited, Milwaukee Matt. How you doing? Last time I saw you was in my live stream, but I'm gonna come down Cottonwood Trails again or something and hit some Indiana gold again like last year. If you do, let me know. JP Lonzimore, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Hey, how you doing, Skipper, the new Miss Maniac from Canada? Good to see you, aka Santa Claus, old Saint Nick himself. Full of gold. How you doing, Caleb? Hope you're having a great morning there down under. Buenos días, mi amigo de Vivía. ¿Cómo está usted? Bien? Bien. Brad Welsh, another Aussie. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Ohio Relic Hunter, good to see you, Bill. Thanks for joining us. Well, I'm sure more are coming. Rose is running a little late. I first caught our guest on TikTok. Um, I like his attitude and his outlook, at least from what I got from the little screen, you know. And I invited him on the show, months ago, maybe a year ago. And he was just extremely busy and couldn't do it. And then we talked. Apparently he slowed down and he reached out to me, which I thought was awesome. And I gave him some dates. And he's like, oh no, man, I'm shipping out to the land down under. He's heading to Melbourne, so some of you might want to take him out to your spots if you're close. But I decided to sacrifice a Tuesday night or a open line Tuesday and put Chris in it. Tonight we have Chris Undertaking and his oldest boy with us. I'm having a blonde moment, guys. I forget his oldest son's name. But we'll get to it right after this. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night Hangout Live with your host.
spells it with 2 C's too. So
Yeah.
it's not like the movie.
And so it's not like Loki, the
Yeah.
Norwegian
No. Yeah.
mythological, the god
Yeah. I
of
was gonna say.
chaos.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not like that. We didn't need that chaos in our lives. So
Already got enough, right? Right.
yes, exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot a question at Luca, right? Luca, sorry. Right off the bat. How do you like going out in the desert or down to the Santa Ana River or San Gabriel or whatnot, playing in the water, getting gold with your dad?
I'll say it's really fun because I get to spend time with my dad and my brother and my family, and we get to find like gold and who knows what we could find, like all sorts of animals, and like we'll find all cool rocks and maybe other things on the way.
Right on. I used to drag my 3 kids out to my claims about every weekend during the winter or during the summer, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say that's what we did too. So like we started just doing these like weekend trips where I'd take him out. And it started with Luca, just taking him out, and then Finney right around the age of 2. I was like, I think we can trust him to go out with us and not wander too far. And Luca really helped with that. So he was keeping an eye on his little brother, taking him out, making sure he kind of knew what he needed to do, and then actually showed him the ways how to run all the equipment, how to shovel, how to dig, and everything. So it was kind of cool the transition. And so now, we got our daughter Livy. She's about 15 months now, and so we'll be engaging with that same thing in the next like 8 months. We're going to try at 2 years old, taking her out as well, and getting her out on the claims and digging for gold. So it'll be a good time. Chaotic but fun.
Outdoor influencer, how are you doing, Jeffrey? Hope all is well.
Yeah.
Surprised I didn't see you, Jeffrey, when we had Exploring with Nug and Adam Brown on last week, or Chaos Divers the week before. But it's great seeing you, Jeffrey. Terry Curry. Good evening, Chris, Ed, and folks. Terry Curry. Good to see you, Terry. So how long have you been into gold prospecting, and how did you get bit by the gold bug and catch gold fever?
Okay, so this is kind of a crazy origin story, I'll admit. So I've been watching the Gold Rush shows since the beginning, season 1, followed it all along, did the whole where you show up to the different recreational events and things like that, or little areas like Julian, stuff where you can kind of just pan and everything. And I was like, man, this is something I want to get into, but just like any other kind of hobby, it's kind of like that, taking that next step. And I never did until about 4 years ago. And I actually this is going to get kind of crazy. I was actually deployed, and I was over in the Middle East, and it was over there during a really chaotic time in 2019, 2020 with Iran, and when we took out General Soleimani and everything. And I was actually in a bunker with sirens going off, with missiles inbound, and I was sitting there like, all right, so if I get taken out right now, what is one thing I wish I would have done before I died that I just never did? And gold prospecting was it. So
Wow.
it was something where I was like, I just had an aha moment, because I was like, well, there's nothing else to do. You just kind of wait and see what happens. And at that point, that's when I started doing all the research, started like looking into it, ordering some equipment. So when I got home, I had to have everything ready. And I told the boys about it. I was like, hey, we're gonna go gold prospecting when I come back. I was like, we're gonna start going out into the outdoors, and going on these adventures and just see what we can find. And so then I started getting linked up with some people through the GPAA and different things, and getting events. And so it started about 4 years ago. And so that's kind of like the origin of how we got into it.
Oh, cool. I did notice you are pretty active with the GPAA and with
Yeah.
Kevin Hoagland and
Yes.
another good guy, a
Yeah. Oh,
friend
yeah.
of mine too.
Yeah.
Um, your last outing, it's coming up, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's
At
coming up.
Placer Pete's?
Yep, it is. And so that'll be the last event. It kind of worked out with, the move over to Australia and getting stationed over there and with selling the house and everything. So I committed to it. I thought the last event was going to be the last one where you're going to be able to attend, but this one I was able to navigate it and kind of work it into our schedule. So this last one's going to be our last oorah, and Kevin's going to be out there. Mike Pung from Gold Cube's going to be out there. Like there's a
Another
whole
great guy.
yeah, exactly. So there's going to be a whole list of people. And we had Garrett last time as well. And so it was actually Steve and Phil that got me into dry washing. Before they kind of did these like beginner lessons for people for free. And so I went out to their claim, got linked up with them, and then kind of just been connected with them. And that's where, when the GPA kind of, their gold shows kind of dropped off and they're doing their, biannual events, we started looking at this as an opportunity, and Kevin Hoagland came in as well. And it's like, this is a great opportunity, and it's been just growing every year, and it's been awesome. Just
Nice, nice.
getting kids are coming out with their grandparents, their parents. So then he has a bunch of friends to dig with, not just all adults. So
True.
More people hide your brother's Tonka toys, huh?
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say exactly.
Now I want to know, because when I was growing up in California, I grew up in Orange County, and I was a typical beach bum. My religion was surfing, and um, I missed a lot of school because of it. I figured if
Sounds all too familiar.
I didn't get into gold prospecting until after I exited, left the state, moved to Washington State. That's
Okay.
where I was down visiting my parents in Anaheim, and I was at my foster brother's house, and he's watching the buzzard and
Okay. Yeah, go
watching
Massey. Yep.
watching Gold Fever and watching the original, watching the buzzard.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, that's pretty cool, and ended
Yeah.
up buying the membership and
Yep.
getting my first pan and all that, surefire panning techniques and stuff.
Yeah.
That
Oh
that
yeah.
was forever ago,
Yeah.
and it's a great lifestyle in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's like camping on steroids. Like, you go camping, but now you're finding treasure. Like, who doesn't want to do that? And what kids don't want to do that. And it kind of gives a different perspective and on just like enjoying nature and and going out to places that you wouldn't normally go, because a lot of places we go, there's boondocking. So you're out in the desert,
Yeah.
you're not anywhere near a campground, or and that's
That's
kind of the beauty
that's
of it.
nice though.
It is being away from people and the peace and the quiet, and you can see the stars. We take telescopes out with us as well, and it's
Oh,
really cool.
I tell you, Chris, out here, I'm in Ohio now, and
Yeah.
people are like, let's go camping. And it's like going from one neighborhood to another neighborhood where you're even closer to one
Right,
another.
exactly. Yep.
And I think, like, I see Rick Stash Mining in here. He's also from
Oh yeah.
Skagit Valley, Washington.
Yep. I was gonna say. Yep.
He's up by Cape Horn and stuff, by
Yep.
Concrete. I live down closer to Cedral Woolley. I lived about halfway between Cedral Woolley and Concrete.
Okay.
And um, there we drive up in the mountains or drive up to Upper
Yep.
Finney Creek where 3 of my claims were. And shoot, all we have to deal with is the occasional somebody or someone wanting a pan, and I go ahead, just tell me what you found, where you found it.
Yep. Yep.
And maybe a Sasquatch, who knows? But
Right. I was gonna say. No, it
but
kind of stinks. I know because Rick has reached out to me, and it kind of stinks now because I was stationed up in Bremerton for about 4.5
oh,
years, but
okay.
did no gold prospecting up there. But when I made my way up to meet up with Pioneer Polly, I tried to make some stops, but I got sick along the way, and all this other stuff happened. But I was like, you know what? It's something definitely when I come back, I want to do a whole tour of the whole West Coast and just make stops all along the way up through Oregon, all the way to Washington, and meet up with Rick
My
up there.
plane partners actually, Doug and Don Skeens, they actually live in Bremerton.
Okay.
They they actually live on an old submarine base.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna. That's I know exactly the area. It's crazy.
And there's gold out on the peninsula, just too bad a
Oh yeah.
lot of it is so protected.
I was gonna
Rose is coming in, so let me fix the zoom on the display. I wish, come on, Zoom, you guys need to do something where it does it automatically. Hi, Rose.
Hi guys, I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
say. You're
Oh,
good.
you're okay, sis. Chris, Luca, right?
Yes.
Is that right,
Yeah,
Luca?
that is correct.
This is Rose. She's
Going
an
Rose.
awesome
Hi, nice to meet
person,
you.
Nice to meet you.
another YouTuber.
Nice.
Um, but she's also a very good friend of mine, uh, and occasional co-host. Welcome,
Nice.
Rose. Good to
That's right.
see
Occasional
you.
late co-host. That's right.
That's okay. We love you and we'll let you slide, sis. Everybody out there loves you too. So we were just getting acquainted with Luca and Chris Rose. Kind of got into a little bit of Chris's history, how he got bit by the gold bug and stuff, and poor Rose, Chris. It's like she was a guest on our show when her and her friend Angela had the treasure vixens, where they were mainly magnet fishers.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we invited them to a flash bash that I used to hold and
Okay.
host. And we got them bit by the gold bug. Now she has all
Yeah.
kinds of gold prospecting friends and stuff. So
I was gonna
That's right.
say.
I'd say me especially for sure got bit by the gold bug. I have a tendency to be hanging around the gold crew just a little bit more than the magnet fishing crew now.
I was gonna
well,
say it grows quickly, and you just see a lot of opportunities, and the adventures are just endless. So then you're like nonstop, and it's it just keeps going. It's crazy.
Also, just getting to meet up with some of the people, everybody doing these adventures and going out and people teaching people or people learning, whatever,
Oh,
whatever it is. I love the
100%.
community. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the best
Terry
part.
Marshall, he mines at Lightning Ridge for opals and does a lot of gold prospecting also. Chris, he says, I'm only 300 is that Ks, kilometers? You
Kilometers
foreigners.
probably.
Uh,
I'm actually so I'm gonna be in
300
Sydney.
clicks from
Yeah. I'll
Melbourne.
be in
So.
I'll be in Sydney. Melbourne's not too far. I mean,
Oh,
it's
that's
a
right.
little
I
hop on the
said
plane.
Melbourne and you said Sydney.
It's
Sorry,
okay. Yeah,
Terry.
yeah, no,
A
no, but
whole
I plan
different
to hit.
Providence.
Right, I plan to hit all those places though when I'm over there. I mean, you got to. So, and it's crazy when you look at Australia. Until I actually looked at it on a map and started scoping out areas, I didn't realize how big it is. It's like the United States. It's huge, like it's ginormous. And so I started looking at the travel. I was like, oh, on a map it makes it look close, and then you do, Google Travel, and you're like, oh, okay, that's a long ways away. So
Right? Huge. I think it's bigger than the lower 48, isn't it?
It might be. I know it's pretty close.
It's huge. And
Yeah.
it's hard to tell on the map because the map over exaggerates everything, you
I was
know,
gonna say, right?
or under exaggerates it.
Yeah.
But excellent. I bet you're real. Are you really excited about going to the land down under, Luca?
Mm-hmm.
Find some
Very.
Aussie treasure, Aussie gold, opals.
Yes.
Would you
Very.
box with a kangaroo?
Maybe.
Depends
Maybe
on
a
the size.
little one?
Yes. Depends on the size.
I was gonna say
Luca,
that's the. I'm sorry.
oh, I'm sorry. Is there anything that you're scared or nervous about going down under?
I don't know. Depending on what's there, if it's like poisonous spiders or something, or giant spiders, I'd be terrified.
Right, me too.
I was gonna say, so one thing Luca and I have been looking at is all the creatures and the animals that are there, because everybody's like, everything wants to kill you in Australia. So it's gonna be like one of those things where we're gonna have to kind of learn like the environment, creatures identifying and everything. Because again, safety is our number one priority. Gold doesn't matter if you're not safe. So we're definitely going to be relying on other people over there who know the areas to kind of, point things out to us and everything. Because I know simple things like even bull ants, like metal detecting, they're very territorial and aggressive. And, over here in California, you don't really have to worry about ants that attack you. So you might see an ant, you're like nothing of it, and you realize, now the horde's coming after you and attacking you. So
Now,
we're trying to figure that out. So
in
Willie
some
Shiny Gold,
states,
sorry, Rhodes, but Willie
right?
Shiny Gold says he would be terrified of running into Vogus. Oh, come on. Chris seems like a great guy. Hit the stream with.
Oh, he's super nice. So
yes, he is. A very good guy. Now, I know you'll be busy down in Oz, but you better. I mean, your whole community's dependent on you to put out as much content as you can while you're down there, we hope.
Oh, most positive. That's one of the reasons I selected these orders. I didn't have much of a choice when it came to the orders. It was either go to Gitmo on Cuba, or you can't do anything on the island.
Yeah,
you're
you
locked.
can't even leave Guantanamo, right?
Yeah, Gitmo at all. You can't leave it at all. Or it was, hey, go jump on a ship out of Norfolk, which I would just be gone all the time. And then it was Australia. So kind of easy choice, I guess, at that point was
yeah,
Australia.
that's kind of a no-brainer, huh?
It is. It is a lot of gold out there, but just a great opportunity for the family, and get them engaged in a different culture and just travel and see places that normally people save up for years to go travel, and we get paid to go live there. So
right.
I can't complain. So.
I've always wanted to go down there. One time when I was younger, it was to surf where the Bronze Aussie surfs and surf Spells Beach and all that. Now it's meet up with Busted Knuckles or Vogas or Tazzy Boy Adventures or Tazzy P or...
I was gonna say, yeah.
Who?
Nikki B.
Oh yeah, Nikki, of course, and Terry, and
there's a whole slew of them.
Yeah, Brad, and all kinds of guys, all kinds.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to it, and it's kind of nice because they're all located throughout Australia as well, a lot of them. So it's just gonna promote me to get out of Sydney and go to all these places and explore just Australia in general, because it's like the United States, it's go from California to Louisiana, it's completely different everything.
World, they're different worlds.
It's just
Right.
different way. Exactly. It's so nutty, you know. And I know Western Washington is more that the desert, the craziness, you know, of everything. And then, you know, Sydney's more like the temperate area over there. So it's gonna be awesome. We're really looking forward to it. I know
Yes.
Luca is super looking
Yes.
forward to it, you know, especially he's gonna be able to, we're gonna be like right downtown in Sydney. So he's gonna see that opera house that he saw in all the Scooby-Doos and all the shows that he watches. So he's
Very cool.
excited
So
about that.
you say the whole family's going? Who's the whole family?
Whole family, got the wife and the 3 kids. So I got Luca, who's about to turn 10 in April, and then we got
Double
Finn, who's
digits.
right, double digits. He's about to be a teen. It's gonna be a little scary. And then we got Finney, who's 4 years old, who goes on all of our adventures, and our daughter Livy. So she's 15 months right now, and she'll
Wow.
be joining us on our adventures. And then my wife Chloe. So you know, and then with Livy joining us, that will allow Chloe to join us on more of these adventures and get out there and everything. So she's looking forward to it because she likes to be outdoors camping and everything like that. But
Oh, that's
Heck yeah.
cool.
yeah.
I noticed, I thought you put out a Valentine's video where you were out with your wife and
Oh
family.
yeah. Oh yeah, she's a huge promoter of what we do and allows us to go out almost every weekend, you know, because she has her own little thing that she does. She likes to do a lot of like estate sales and flipping and stuff like
Oh,
that.
cool.
So that's her treasure hunting that she loves to do.
For
Um,
sure.
yeah, so she loves it. That's what she kind of does. That's her little gig, and then I take the boys out and we go adventure in the outdoors. So
Tell her check out Crazy Lamp Lady.
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Jocelyn Elizabeth. She's a really cool
okay,
gal. She's a metal detectorist also.
okay,
Her and her husband, or better half, Drew, they work a lot on Crazy Lamp Lady's channel. She also has Relics Recoverist channel too.
okay,
But
definitely.
Crazy
Awesome.
Lamp
Right,
Lady
that's pretty
does
good.
tons of flipping, and
Yeah.
she now they have their own shop in
Oh wow.
Carlisle,
Nice.
Carlisle, doggone it, Rose, I can't say it. I think it's
They're gonna
Carlisle, Pennsylvania. But really good people, really great family. Um, but she has a great attitude, I believe. And if your wife doesn't know who she is, which chances are she does, wouldn't you think so, Rose? I'm
Oh
sure
yeah,
she
yeah.
she's
does.
popular. She's popular in there. If your wife follows
I was gonna
YouTube
say.
channels, there's a
Yeah,
chance.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Most
so
likely she's seen it on our feed and everything like that. Get some inspiration. She finds stuff. So no, for sure.
I'm a sucker for going to those estate sales and going antiquing in hopes to find rocks and gemstones, actually.
Okay.
Some of my coolest
silver.
finds have been from antique stores or flea markets or anything. It's crazy how you just
Okay.
run into it. I found some incredible finds there.
I was gonna say I've actually the wife has come back with a lot of prospecting gear
Yes.
Mhm.
that people, you know, have offloaded, and then also just cans of pay dirt that they didn't even know were pay dirt bags, you know,
Wow.
type thing. And
Wow.
so, yeah, she would find it with it. And so, I mean, I actually have them sitting in my garage. And I still haven't processed, you know, because I'm like, well, I got to get this on video, you know, type thing. So they're sitting on a shelf, but it's just kind of funny the stuff she's come back with. And, you know, I'm like, holy cow, okay, all right.
Now,
And
Save me
since
a lot of backache.
yeah,
So,
the expression "one man's trash is another man's treasure" is so
oh,
crazy how
and
something that,
it's so
something like
true
a couple
too.
bucks, yeah, could just be
oh,
so valuable to somebody, whether it be sentimental or financially.
yeah,
Sometimes you get the mother load of cool finds. So
right. No, 100%, 100%.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Um, see, Washingtonian in the house. Hey, Guidos, how you doing? Also, Chris, thank you for your service for the United States of America.
Appreciate your
We
support.
appreciate our veterans and our service personnel here at Flash in Your Pan. Toledo Jess, my prospecting buddy and ex co host, he's a Vietnam veteran. And we started a little project called Take a Vet Prospecting Project.
Okay.
And hopefully more would take advantage of it. If you're a veteran, we offer all expenses. You don't have to worry about nothing. Maybe your own sleeping bag.
Oh, that's cool.
But
Yeah. You take them out on an adventure and go panning and everything and show them the
anything
ropes.
they want. They could run
Yeah.
my dredge, and if they want to run a dredge with air, I'll get them in on one. I don't have my 4-inch anymore. But put them on my 2, get them on a 4 if they want, high banker, sluice, whatever. Oh, Terry Marshall, thank you for the super chat again this week. You're the man, mate. You're the man.
Yeah, no, that's something that I've done. I've met up with a lot of veterans out here because it's a good way, to get out there for mental health and stuff like that. And there's a camaraderie aspect of the community within gold prospecting.
Oh, ain't that the truth?
Oh, 100%. And it's all about teamwork out there as well. Digging together, finding together, sharing information. And so and I think that's also why I love it and have really stuck with it, is because of that. It really translates well. And I've seen a lot of, I've met up with a lot of veterans, taking them out, showed them the ropes and stuff like that, and gotten a lot of people into prospecting. I think that's probably one of the coolest aspects of it, because when you start digging and you find your first piece of gold, when you get that gold fever, you now want to share that. This is just my opinion. I feel like I want to share that with everybody, because it's just kind of a crazy feeling, and then you get hooked right away. And people are just kind of sitting back and they're like, I don't know if I want to do that, engage in that. It looks like a lot of hard work, but once they find their first piece, they're hooked for life now. And it's just it's a journey.
It is a life sickness, or
It is.
it's a
Gold fever is real.
it's real, and once it bites you, you might take a little hiatus for a little bit, but it's gonna draw you back like the mob, get you in its clutches, good clutches, and bring you back.
You've got Luca right next to you agreeing. And I would say, if a lot of people get the gold bug and they get hooked, but for the younger generation, the kids, to actually express interest. My daughter is going on 19 this month, and she's had the opportunity to to get the gold bug, the gold fever with me a few times, and she does not even care. So Luca, what drew you to it? Why are you so interested in it?
I get to spend time with my family, really, and it's just exciting what we can find in the rocks and stuff we just get. It just makes it very exciting.
Do you feel like you have a lot of friends that would want to do the same thing, your age?
Yes, I have a lot of friends.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's kind of popular now amongst all of his friends, being on YouTube and everything like
he's
that.
a celebrity. He's a celebrity.
Basically his whole school is like everybody's asking.
Yeah.
Okay, Luca.
Thank you, Dad, take me out.
Yeah.
How many autographs have you been asked to sign yet?
I haven't been asked any.
Really?
Don't worry, it's coming. Don't worry.
Don't worry, it will come there.
Yes.
Now, have you been approached like at Menards or Home Depot or something? Anyone come up to you at all yet and say, "Man, I can't believe it. I watch you. Chris Undertaking, Luca. what you doing? Oh, you're gonna pan some play sand.
No,
Anything like that? Yeah.
He's had a lot of people from school do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people from school, when they find him, bring up the channel and everything like that. I'll tell you, his birthdays have become a lot more popular to attend now. Because they want to all come over and they want to see all the gear, they want to see the equipment, and they always want to pan out something. So we try to set up a little booth or something off to the side so the kids can kind of like experience it on everything else, you know.
Maybe you guys are bringing something back, man. Bringing something back for the next generation.
Exactly. Trying to inspire, you know, that's kind of like our mission, I guess you could say, is really to inspire, you know, other families, even if it's not gold prospecting, just get outdoors and do some kind of adventure that, you know, they'll want to continue doing, and kind of, you know, inspires them to get away from the screens and get outdoors and enjoy nature and kind of experience all the aspects that we love about gold prospecting, which is, you know, from the camping to the digging to
get away from the screens, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was funny.
Our friend
MJ only pans wants his autograph.
She does, and she also has a question for you. She wants to know how big Undertaker's biggest find was.
So my biggest find with Luca was a 0.98 gram nugget we found in the Dale district of 29 Palms while dry washing.
Yes.
I actually have that nugget sitting over here in this pan, well, in a vial. So we found that.
Bill, we actually got away. You too, Jeff. All you gold pervs need to wait.
So that was the biggest we have found, like size-wise. Me and Luca, one of our adventures out in 29 Palms, in the Dale district, which was really cool because when we panned it out, I actually didn't even know it was a gold nugget at first because it's really dirty and everything. And I was like, but it just stayed in the pan. I was like, I don't know, you know, like type thing. I kind of brushed off initially. I was like, no way. Like, I was like, no way type thing. And then we started freaking, and this was like 2 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah. But when we first got here.
Yeah. But the actual biggest nugget I have found, but really it was Paulie putting me right on it, was when I was sniping with him in Canada.
I just saw short of that nugget.
Yeah, the 3.62. And actually Kyle from Crux has it. So we split up kind of like all of our finds that weekend, and Kyle got it, which is great because Kyle was with Paulie right there. Like, we had been digging this spot, and you know, I didn't listen to Paulie. I thought I was a Northern California boy, and I was like, you know what? I've surfed in the water. It's freezing up in Eureka up there along the coast. I don't need like a 7-9 wetsuit. I'll be good with like a 4-5 type thing. And no, I was freezing. It was hard being in that water in Canada for so long. So we were digging this spot, and then Kyle drifted over because I was like, I need to go warm up in the sun. And that's when he uncovered right after that this 3.62 gram nugget that was just sitting perfectly in there, that he had to like, Kyle had to actually like flick out with his finger. And it was probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, it was just so big. And then underwater, of course, everything's magnified. So you're like, oh my gosh, you found the biggest rock. So with Luca, it was a 0.98 grammer. And then the biggest I found was with Kyle. But we've had some great cleanouts out in the desert, just combined, where we found some pockets where we've hit a couple grammars combined with some very coarse and chunky gold. So
Ohio Relic Hunter, my friend Bill Marsh, wondering, do you do any detecting also?
We do. So we've done not that much. I don't have the patience for it, to be honest. But it's something we're actually shifting into as we go to Australia because of, you know, it's more prevalent over there, and it's better options, because especially out in the California desert, it's just a lot of trash out there, and you find a lot of casings and bullets and things like that, you know, you're just pinging on everything, and you'll just spend all day just, you know, just hitting things that are not gold, and it gets a little frustrating. And when I know I could just dig with a shovel and I could come away with something. So, but we are looking at, I think we're shifting towards, we're going to be getting a Garrett Axiom. And I think that's where we're going to be heading when we go to Australia and go out there and hit a lot of gold fields with the metal detector. And we're really excited about that because we know there's some big, coarse, chunky gold out there. So,
On the big nuggets.
Yeah. And that's something fun too. I think metal detecting, for people, if they have kids, it's really cool because, again, you can adapt the metal detectors and different ones and stuff like that in different sizes. But it's also kind of like a teamwork. It's nice to be able to ping something and then have somebody else do the little between the two scoops doing stuff. And so we'll kind of switch off as we're trekking around, finding targets.
You've done mostly nugget shooting.
Yeah.
Out there instead of hunting for relics or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but out in the gold fields, prospectors did drop large cents. They did drop trimes and silver dollars and stuff. Mi amigo de Vivia is wondering what's the oldest coin you've ever found so far.
You found that $50, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
that
there's
big
like
silver one.
Yeah, there's like a big silver $50 coin I found.
It was a $50 out near Placer Pete's is what he found. We think it just dropped out of someone's pocket, or we think it was a coin left from a previous metal detecting hunt where nobody had found it. So
very cool, though. That's still very
could
cool.
Be,
I was gonna say, but he was super excited about it. Holy cow! I didn't believe. I was like, "Oh, someone just gave that to you." He's like, "No, we found it." I was like, "What?"
Silver, my friend. Silver.
Right.
And
now we got accounts, son, accounts.
Now, was it a walking liberty, Luca?
Yes.
A walking liberty? Cool.
Yeah.
Nice coin. Thanks.
I'm glad I found it.
Hey, I got a really tarnished one right here.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Whoa.
It's a beaut right there.
Dang, I think I can match it.
Right.
It's pretty tarnished. But I like coins. I got tons of coins.
Yeah, no, we plan to do a lot more metal detecting. Oh, Rose has got one too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yours is a lot shinier and nicer looking than mine. Mine has a lot of patina on it.
I think in Australia, it's something we had talked about doing more of the relic and coin hunting as well out there. Especially with the daughter getting older and stuff like that, we'll be able to all go out and then metal detecting is a lot easier than trying to sluice in a river or creek, with young kids and everything like that. So we kind of expand our adventures when we go out to Australia. So we're super excited about that.
How long is the trip for?
3 years we're going to be stationed out there. So
stationed. Wow. That's not a trip. That's a journey. That's a chunk of your life. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's like a logistical movement that's kind of a nightmare right now, but we're excited for it. So
now, what does the military do for you? Do they store your stuff? Do they move your stuff?
They move our stuff, so they'll be shipping it all out there. So we're actually selling our house right now, and then they'll be shipping all of our stuff. But the issue is it's going to take about 4 to 6 months for our stuff to get over there, to get through customs and everything. So we'll be living in kind of a furnished hotel over there in Sydney for 4 to 6 months until our stuff arrives, and then we'll rent a house over there.
They're gonna ship all your buckets of concentrates out too?
It's actually funny you mentioned that because my whole shed is filled right now, and since we've been selling the house, I've been kind of like hiding it as people have been like viewing the house, and I have all these buckets, 5 gallons, because they're all along the side of the house, a huge stack of them, and so I hid them all in the shed, and so now I've been like slowly trying to go out and process to get rid of them because it feels like this pressure of like I got to get through all these buckets. But it's actually kind of fun because a lot of these buckets come from like places I've dug with buddies and stuff like that. So I've been
Right.
sending them pictures of like, hey, you left a gold nugget in my bucket, man. Like, and we've been pulling out some
Neener,
nice
neener,
little pieces.
neener.
So, you know,
Finders keepers, finders keepers.
Exactly.
Finders keepers, losers weepers. That's what I say.
Right.
I like it. I like it. Here, here.
Right.
Here.
I've got a question for the both of you
The
guys.
numismatic said 22 years in the service, and I never got postings like that.
Okay.
Oh, I know. I'm very lucky. Trust me, I'm very lucky. And I'm sitting at 16 years, so we're kind of going to be playing this game of trying to get out exactly at 20. So over there 3 years, I don't know if they'll extend me for a year or try to send me somewhere for the last year, and then I can get out. So, and then we can just do gold prospecting full time. So that's the plan.
Or do you plan on like becoming like the RV odd couple or something and head out and stay at Staten for several months,
you want to be
then
more...
head to the Loud Mine or
No, I think what we're looking at is because we have family up in Washington State, and so our plan is to kind of end up in the Kitsap area, by Bremerton, Silverdale, everything. Get a place up there, and then basically throughout the year, I'll just make trips and kind of hit along places and kind of explore out, and kind of do that full time and do kind of content creation, gold prospecting, meet up with people, because I have a laundry list of people that I want to dig with. And they want to dig with me. It's just timing again, because I'm full-time military, got wife, kids at home. We got this big move, so I've been having to tell a lot of people like, wait 3 years, I'll be back.
So I need. Speaking of that, I need to add that to my list. Would like to go prospecting with Chris and Luca in about 5 to 7 years.
Yes.
We laugh now, guys, but in 5 to 7 years, if you meet up, I'm just saying, like, it's funny how
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Trust me. It's gonna happen. Because that's the plan. Is we just want to. I just want to go around and travel, and meet, and dig with people. Community is the biggest thing that I have found that I've loved about the gold prospecting, hobby and just getting into it. It's just how receptive people are, and just sharing their knowledge, and just they want more people interested, because again, like, I have kids and everything like that. I don't like to go dig by myself. It's you go to some of these places, you don't feel safe because you might be in areas where you don't have service. You might be in the woods, and things could go. And I've had stuff go wrong, taking buddies out who
stuff
had
happens.
Altitude sickness, all this other stuff I've had happen. It's an adventure. Yeah. But you want to be safe.
Well, like on one of your last trips out, not, I presume, well, with posting and stuff, a couple months back maybe, when you went out to your claim and you had the incident with your truck getting in the ruts and getting stuck. That could have ended up being a whole lot serious than it was. Thank goodness it wasn't, but it could have.
100%. I mean, even.
Go ahead.
Go.
Oh, as a lady who travels a lot by herself to meet up with the gold community, I have never felt uncomfortable or worried about the situation I'm going to be in. I'm still a little picky and choosy, but for the most part, when you talk about the community, I feel safe enough to roll right up there, shake people's hands, and then just pitch up my campsite, get ready to go, and have a great weekend with everybody.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and Luca has met a lot of cool friends and everything through it, and everybody gets along and meshes really well. It's definitely something we like. And but I will say, so some of these because you get messages saying, hey, I want to go with you and whatever. And again, I'm I'm military, I got 3 kids, things like that. Like, I'm not going to take you to some of these remote areas that I go, just you and me, because I don't even know you.
Right.
Yeah, right.
That's something like where you're like, well, there's something going on at a GPA claim.
Exactly.
at
That's what I.
Duesenberg or
Yeah.
um, up at Placer Pete's. Come on
Yep.
up. There'll be equipment to try. You could talk
Yep.
to other prospectors, and yeah, we can
Exactly.
dig.
Yep, exactly. Like, and actually, that's where I've met the most people is at these Placer Pete GPA events because they reach out to me and say, "Hey, show up to this event. I will put you on the goal. I will let you use my equipment. You literally just have to show up." But it's a way for me to kind of vet people because again, I want to make sure we mesh well,
Right.
and kind of like morals and things that go on, because again, I don't want to put myself in a predicament with my kids and things like that. So safety is always paramount to everything when we do it. But I'll tell you that the prospecting community, even at this last Placer Pete event, we had someone roam off from the camp and they didn't know where they went. And I can't tell you how many people jumped into trucks and just drove in all directions. Somebody got mountains, and we ended up finding the individual and got her to safety. She was dehydrated, all this other stuff. But I've never seen people just rally so quick without knowing anything about the person, whatever. It's just, it's an amazing community of people and just similar interests and kind of have the similar mindset to look out for each other when they're out there.
Everybody's ready just to help anybody that's like having trouble or anything. Everybody's just ready.
For sure. And you talk about the safety first, these meetups first. Well, now that for me is morphed into calling some people up. I call Ed up. Hey, Ed, my husband and I are going to be your way, and in 2 or 3 weeks from now, do you mind
I
if we
got a
stay with
bed
you?
for you. Shoot, you could
And
stay in
now,
my
yeah,
camper.
that's what it's turned into.
We've got
I've
a brand
witnessed
new
weddings.
trailer out there
Yeah.
you could stay in, Rose.
Yeah, now the friendships that have come from it, where you practice the safety, you meet these people, you meet them over and over and over, and have turned into genuine and true friendships.
Yes.
Oh, 100%. Yep.
Yep.
No, like this weekend, I've had a bunch of people bug me. Hey, they have some free time. So like actually this Saturday, I've taken a bunch of people to this spot that's near me in Temecula, at another spot that a guy showed me that was like, hey, this is a great spot. I dug with him a couple times and I was like, hey, do you mind if I bring some people? Because again, I'm leaving soon. I'd like to network you guys all together so that way you guys can all dig together. And everybody's like, oh yeah, bring them all out. So like this weekend we're going out, I think 10 to 12 families are going out, a bunch of kids and stuff like that, and go. Some of them never river sluiced before, so we're gonna do some river sluicing stuff. And it's just great because at the end of the day, it's not about me and me going out there and filming or whatever. It's about just bringing people together. And then I've seen all these relationships develop between them. Some of them are doing hard rock mining together now. All these, and it's just cool to be like, just see the stories build and grow, and then you meet up again. It's like the military again. You don't see each other for 3 months. You send a text and you're like, let's go dig. And then you play catch up again. And it's like, you didn't even miss a beat. So it's very cool.
It's fun going out with people. It's fun going out and just exploring. It's fun to be out in nature, surrounded by spiders, tarantulas.
You should tell them the story about Jason and the rock and the shiny rock.
Sounds like a good story, Luca.
Yeah, we're ready to hear it
share
now.
it?
Come on, Luca.
You tell it. I'm too embarrassed to tell them.
No, you're good.
Okay.
It's not even about you. It's about your buddy.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, one time my friend Jason Oceanside, we went out gold mining, and Jace had to pee out, so he peed on a rock. And then he was like, hey, Chris, I found a shiny rock. And then my dad was like, you peed on that one, Jason. He was like, oh. Dude, it's so hilarious.
He got really excited while peeing, thinking that he saw a shiny rock and that might be gold, and then not realizing that he had peed on
it. It was so hilarious.
A valuable lesson learned.
Right.
Yes, a valuable lesson.
All right, guys. I see a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays shirt. What are you guys celebrating in March? What's going on?
We celebrate Christmas all year round. So
gotcha.
It's my wife's favorite holiday, and so Christmas in June, July, and every other month is there. Decorations stay up a long time. So
just Christmas and Halloween. Just set it up on Halloween.
I was gonna say,
I know a lady who just changes her Christmas tree for the season. It just, the tree stays up year
Oh,
round, but the season, it's Easter season, then it's an Easter tree. If it's Halloween, there's Halloween tree.
to say, I mean, it brings happiness to the house and, merry cheer.
See,
I
I own cats, so for me, it's a bit of a nightmare, but
was gonna say, right? I know Rick had a question earlier that I saw.
Um,
well, we
there
apologize if
was
we missed
one from Bradwell. She's another Aussie. Uh, he's wondering where are you going to be based at?
We're gonna be based in Sydney, so it's at
East Coast?
no, yeah, well, it's on the East Coast, but
Okay.
of Australia, but it's HMOS Connecticut, if I'm saying the name right. I don't know. It's at the Royal Navy base there. So I'll be working strictly with the Royal Navy over there, not even like our own United States Navy. So I'll be a liaison over there doing medical logistics for all the ships over there.
So
I was
is
being
that what
suspicious. I thought you were an Air Force guy. I thought it was
is
going to be Air
that
Force
your
training.
job? Are you a medic or a corpsman?
So yeah, so I was enlisted prior, so I was 10 years corpsman, and while during my time I got my bachelor's and my master's while I was enlisted as a corpsman, and I mainly served with Greenside, so with the Marines because they don't have their own medical. And
Right.
then I submitted for the officer program and got picked up, and so then I shifted over to become a healthcare administrator as a Navy officer. So my last tour, I specialized as a POMI, so it's plans, operations, and medical intelligence. So when I was over in CENTCOM and with the Special MAGTF in the Middle East, I was doing all the medical operations, making sure, golden hour, there's, medicals was available and assets, and then getting people in and out of the country if they took injuries and everything. And then now I'm at the hospital running all the medical logistics and contracts and contractors down there.
So you have quite a very important job in the service.
Yes, yes, yes. Things don't move too well without me. So
Terry Marshall, that's a beautiful coin holder you found detecting. I'll share it next Open Line Tuesday, buddy. Terry said I sent you an email, Ed, and look, at first I thought it was a pocket watch, but apparently it's a coin holder.
nice.
Coin holder.
Gold
That's cool.
coin holder.
So Luca, what is your favorite thing you've taught Finney so far?
Many things. But
I know you taught him everything.
My most favorite thing is teaching him like where to dig in like the certain area and like where it makes most sense
Mm-hmm.
and like where where people have already dug and and you've seen like tailings and where to actually dig and all that because it's just fun teaching him. 'Cause that's my favorite thing.
Right.
Really, it's my favorite thing. Out of all of it, that's my favorite thing.
Now, what's your favorite? Dry washing, desert prospecting, or like sluicing at the East Fork San Gabriel? I know you've been up there,
Yep.
and I've known you've done some sluicing on the Santa Ana River.
Yep.
I'm sure a few others probably up
Yep.
around Big Bear and stuff too.
Yep.
So, what do you like doing better, both of you, Luca and Chris?
Yeah. Which one do you like, dry washing, or do you like going to the river?
You tell them your thoughts. I need to think about this.
So that is a hard question. So I like the creek and river when it's really hot out because, oh man, it cools you down. But
True, right?
and the creek and river can be a lot more. It can be harder digging because you're having to move a lot more. Water, rocks, and wet material, which is a lot heavier in a shovel. But it is more enjoyable. It's more peaceful hearing the creek in the background, I will say. But the opportunities that are out in the desert, because not a lot of people like to go dig out in the desert, nor do they think there's gold out in the desert. And
It's
the
lots of
claim that we
gold
have out
there.
there right now has just been producing really well. And we're on some really nice hot spots, finding some very coarse, chunky gold. The only issue with it on the desert is right now with all the rain and everything, it's wet. So dry washing is not
You
that
need
if
it bone dry, don't you?
you need it.
Even if you
Yeah.
have a heat exchange on your blower, you still need it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Cause I've gone from the Keen 190s where it's like dustless with it's got the heat exchange where it can help dry it. You're still having to throw it in there 2 or 3 times. And then it clogs the riffles and just adds a logistical nightmare to everything. And then if you bring water out to the desert, there's so much clay and silt and everything that your water gets so murky so quick and soaks up.
Yeah, if
It's
you
not
don't have
enjoyable.
enough too, because of evaporation and what
Yep.
gets in the
Yep.
tailings with your when you
Yeah.
dump your tailing bucket or whatever, I could
Yeah.
imagine.
Oh
I
yeah.
Since I started prospecting in the Pacific Northwest and now in Ohio and eastern states, we have I have plenty of water and I've dredged
Yeah.
and stuff. I have yet to dry wash, but I wouldn't mind.
Oh,
I
it's a lot of fun.
I
It's a
I'd like
it's
to
fun.
go out and nugget hunt like with Bill Southern or some others out there in the desert,
Yeah.
Arizona and the Mojave, San Bernardino or whatever.
Yep.
But California's sure messing with you guys out in the Mojave. Isn't there a big new wildlife area in San Bernardino and
They're trying to
in the
expand out and
Mojave?
everything. Yeah, they're trying to expand out and just add more protections and cut off a lot of the BLM land and everything. So it's still probably a ways off before they push too much to the agendas. But you do have all the protected like tortoises out there and everything like that. That's one thing when we're out there. Um,
Yeah,
we
don't move a tortoise, Luca.
don't even get near it. Don't even touch it.
They'll be knocking on your daddy's door that night. Let
Right.
us in. We're Tortoise Protection Agency.
Right.
You
Yeah.
guys look
No,
for any opals in that area? Is there any opal hunting in that area?
there's some further. It's like what is it? The fire agate opals or something like that. It's in that. It's not exact where we're digging. There's spots around there. I've never done it before. I've heard about it. And I think it's the fire agate opals I've read about and stuff because some people have talked about it, some of the prospecting meets and stuff like that. But it's definitely in that area though. There's some
Well,
spots that.
in your area, I know you live. We don't have to say where you live, but
Oh, I'm Beaumont. It's
I
fine.
know you work in 29 Palms, which is
Yeah.
just northwest of Joshua Tree National Monuments,
Yeah.
and I know there's still active mining districts in the area,
Oh yeah. Dale
and
District is still big.
like everything in the deserts of California and Arizona and Nevada, mining was the reason why it even exists
Oh,
now.
100%. Yeah.
From
If you go
Betty
down to Dale
to
District, you drive through, you can see old, trommels and equipment that's been, left out there, and now it's all, been spray painted and graffitied and stuff like that. But you see a lot of historical, features out there, and kind of like the history that's grown up with a lot of buildings and concrete bases and brick, kind of like walls that have stood time and everything. So
right, like what you see up at Rollite
Yep.
in the Bullfrog district of
Yep.
Nevada and stuff.
Yep.
Now, uh, since you've got into prospecting, has it like increased you wanting to learn more of mining
Oh, 100%.
history, and do you go to these districts and uh, mines and explore?
Yeah. So we do some exploring and stuff like that. Because again, you start doing some research, and I show Luca on the maps and stuff like that, especially in Dale District. You can see all the mine entrances. They're everywhere. And actually, when you're walking around, you have to be really careful because there's so many holes, for either, they're air holes or whatever. So you have to be really, careful where you're stepping and everything like that. But
Right.
we end up doing a lot of history research and kind of nerding out, and you go down some rabbit holes, and then you try to find some of the areas that they found some big pieces of gold, and then try your luck at it and everything. And but a lot of them too, they're far out too, which is also just crazy to think about. When you do the research, you realize these people are moving in gear and equipment on donkeys and horses and trailers and stuff, and driving a truck out there, and it takes me 2 hours, and so these people are moving by foot and hand, so it's kind of crazy.
Oh,
That's a lot of fun. The history is for sure.
it's like the mines up in Washington, like I the Holden mine on Lake Chelan, and it's like how'd they get that out there,
Right.
or up on Mount Baker
Yep.
and stuff like that. You're just like, oh man,
Oh,
the the umph of these old timers and out in the
right.
motherlode and everywhere. You're just like,
Gold fever is real when you see what they brought into these areas. They're willing to do that much work. They're obviously finding something there, and they're striking it rich. So yeah, no, it's very interesting. And Hobo Rob, I'm leaving in April to Australia.
right
So we're
around
leaving
the
about
corner.
right around the corner. So I got the movers coming, moving all my stuff at the end of the month. So I'm only going to be holding on to a few of my prospecting gear. The rest of it's going to be sitting on a ship for the next 4 to 6 months. So
I need a shout out of couple of friends of mine. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Go Firewood and Farms. I
nice.
work with him sometimes.
Awesome.
Graveyard Prospecting. Good to see you, Mitch. He's Southwest Oregonian sniper and stuff.
Okay. Very cool.
We were just agreeing on not petting the tortoises.
Yeah, don't touch them.
Right.
I believe Jeff Williams got in a bit of trouble trying to help a desert tortoise, and
Yeah. Well, that's the main thing. So when you're out there digging, if you're digging out there for multiple days, you won't. What we have to make a tourist ramp, right?
Yeah.
So you say that like, yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, when you're digging a hole, you have to make a tourist ramp. So in case a tourist does end up in your hole, they have a way to get out. So it's just learning those little things when you are prospecting in the desert, especially in protected areas, what you need to do to mitigate any issues with the local
Well,
wildlife. So
yeah, I mean, honestly, seems pretty simple then, to make sure
yeah,
that you don't harm them and that they have way out. That seems
yep,
easy. Just don't touch them. Don't touch them when anybody's looking, you know.
yep, exactly. We had
Caleb
one.
Full of Gold, he's a detectorist. He says there's no
Yeah.
gold in Australia. I think you're fibbing, Caleb. I've seen your gold, buddy. It's
Trying to
like
keep me out
those
of the area.
Utah guys. They lie too. There's no gold in Utah.
I've heard the Newtonians, man, they always saying there's no gold there. I know otherwise. I've been
I
there.
just put out a short about some gold activity, Gold Hill, Utah. You lied to me, guys. You lied to me. Thought we were family, and you lied to me.
Have you guys ever given magnet fishing a go?
We haven't. It was something I've looked at because I know Paulie did it too. He did it with Emily Rydell up there in Washington, right off the harbor and everything. It was something I actually have looked into. It was just, it's another hobby and
Yep, more money. You're right.
more
More
money,
time out.
more time out. But Sydney might be a better opportunity with all the the oceans right there and all the piers and harbors and stuff like that.
Right.
There's just some interesting finds in there. So
What's magnet fishing?
So I'll let Rose explain.
Yeah.
It's honestly it's a lot like it sounds, where you take a really strong magnet and you throw it into the water and see what you can pull out. And sometimes it's garbage and trash, and sometimes it's treasure.
So
But most of the time, the treasure is still garbage and trash. You're not pulling out shiny metals or any expensive metals, at least, unless they're in a safe. But the safes are always empty, so
Yeah, you're cleaning up the water.
that's right.
Pulling out bikes and all kinds of
Motorcycles and
Lots
all
of history
kinds of
too.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can pull out wagon wheels and
That's true, actually.
yeah. I mean, a lot of history can come out of the waters too, but for the most part, it's just people polluting our waterways.
Yeah, didn't Jeffrey find like a Civil War era sword in the Missouri River or something?
Possibly. We found a Craig Jorgensen. We found a that was World War I believe.
Jeffrey was in here a little while ago. If he's still here, I doubt it. If he's still here, though,
I was going to say, Brad, there is no Crocs in Sydney, so that was one thing too. I was looking at was where I can get eaten if I get near a water source or creek or river.
You might want to be careful if you decide to get back into surfing. You brought up surfing. I believe it was
I did boogie board surfing up
Eureka,
in
California.
Yeah.
That's way north. My family had a place in Morro Bay.
Okay.
And my mom's from Santa Cruz, and Eureka's even farther up the coast than that.
Way far up there. We're like the West Virginia of California,
Up by Crescent City, isn't it?
Yeah, Crescent City. So Crescent City is about an hour and a half away from us north. So we're about 2 hours away from the Oregon border up in Eureka. So yeah, we're the forgotten area of Northern California.
They think it stops at
Sacramento, San Francisco, but there's this older half of the state that so
how far are you from Humboldt?
I'm right. Eureka was in Humboldt, so
see, there you go. Yeah, that's my favorite part of California, man.
There you go. Humboldt, Arcata, McKinleyville, all those areas. Yeah, and then you got the Trinity.
Trinity's beautiful. Siskiyou County's beautiful. San Luis Obispo County's beautiful. There's so much beauty in California if you get rid of LA. Yeah, San Diego, Rob, if you're in here. And get rid of the Inland Empire, all of Orange County. Just get rid of the city and you have the state back. It's a beautiful state.
The middle part of you gotta go Northern California to find beauty, if you're asking me. I mean, really.
We're kind of lucky here in Beaumont because we got Big Bear literally right. I can see the mountains right here on my backyard, in my front yard. So you got snow on the peaks, and then you're down here with the desert kind of thing, going on, and then Big Bear has all the trees and everything, so you kind of can get. And then the oceans, San Diego.
Yeah, but that whole area, you have Ottawa just a little to the south of you, and Mount San Jacinto area.
Every day when I drive to work, I'm in that valley, and it's got mountain peaks on both sides, and it's it's gorgeous, and you see all the snow on the peaks,
Yeah,
and
and if I
it's all
remember
windy as heck
right,
though.
San
I'm trying
Jacinto's
to
about 10,000 feet or so, and I
Yep.
believe Big Bear, the San Bernardino Mountains are about the same.
Yep.
But here's the question. It's gold related. So, is there gold in Whitewater River?
Hmm.
You live
So
right by it. You drive by it every day.
so I have gone and prospected it. It is a preserve, so you have to be careful. So the
Don't
rangers
get
have
caught.
don't well, the rangers are really nice. So you're not supposed to technically take anything out. But as long I have found that the one advantage of having kids and young kids is that if you're not going up there to seriously dig, but you allow your kids to have digging tools with you, the rangers actually were very nice about it. And we brought some pans and classifiers, and they actually let us dig around a while. And they just said, hey, just make sure you backfill all your holes. You're not, just making a giant hole and displacing all this kind of stuff and everything. So they're actually very supportive of it. So that was really cool. I didn't find any gold when we were there during that time, but there are a lot of legends and stories and activity where there's some areas that are further up Whitewater where it's all private land up there, and there's some active digging going on up there and some good gold being found. But you have to know the right people and get access to that land. So
I'm trying to convince one of my soon-to-be besties, MJ OnlyPans, to go camping with me in the redwoods at the end of July, beginning of August.
okay, where at in Redwoods?
I don't know. My sister graduated from Humboldt County. The last time I was
Okay,
there was like like 16 years ago. But I'd like
okay,
to
yep,
go kind of to the same area because I loved it. I love the area that we were at, which is just this campground where you could see the elks partying in the background, and then
yep,
the forest was not too far off, and then you could drive a little bit further and go see the big, big trees. And I
yeah.
just want to get close to there, and I'd be happy as can be.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. We actually, I think I know that camping area you're up at going. There's also Gold Beach up there as well, and we got lucky because the Rangers let us go dig with our gold cube up there on Gold Beach.
Yeah.
It's all protected and preserved and stuff, but they allowed us as long as we had our equipment off to the side and we weren't again just we were just prospecting, digging little tiny holes and kind of feeling around. We actually found some gold up there and stuff like that, but that's why it's called Gold Beach. It's kind of like
Yeah.
Washington, all that ocean gold that comes washing up and everything. So it was very cool.
Oh,
It's a beautiful
Gold Beach,
area up there.
Oregon. Well, the Rogue River dumps out right by there,
Yeah.
and the
Well,
gold.
this is like Gold Beach a little bit further down. So it's right by it, like closer to Crescent City. So it's just
Okay,
south of Crescent City. So I know where you're talking about with Oregon, but there's this other Gold Bluffs. Sorry, it's not Gold Beach. Gold Bluffs, it's called.
okay.
And so it's right there in kind of like Northern California. So
My mom, when she grew up in the Aptos area, in the Monterey Bay area, um, she said would talk about people working the beach
mhm.
there in northern Monterey and out at Santa Cruz even.
Yep,
Now, have you ever surfed Mavericks?
I have not. I have not. I liked living, so
Hold on, producer talking to me. Yeah, she's on my lap, honey.
Is her shirt a whole bunch of agates? Are her shirts some rock? Are those rocks? Or are those pumpkins?
Where? What you
yeah.
talking about?
Your granddaughter's shirt.
There's pumpkins, there's kind of
Squashes and yeah, okay, I gotcha.
squashes and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, what the
I
heck
think
you
it also
talking
could
about?
pass for agates, just so you know.
Okay.
Hi there. Hi there.
Waving at you again, honey. That's Luca.
Hi.
um, the coastal redwoods are beautiful. You and
Yeah.
MJ will love it, Rose. But I know you'll be at the nugget hunt on the North Yuba in July, and I know the sequoias are quite a truck because they're more towards Yosemite, and you'll be a lot farther north than that. But if you could get to see the sequoias, talk about some big trees.
No, that's the goal, Ed, is the camp within the sequoias, or at least very, very close to them.
Okay, if you go to Yosemite though, be prepared to be disappointed. I'm sorry to tell you. Because there'll probably be traffic jams in Yosemite and traffic jams in the
Yeah.
sequoias,
Then
and
maybe we'll
parking
avoid
will
it,
be a
Maybe we'll go somewhere
ridiculous
else. Yeah.
mess. But if you
Yeah.
There's a
could
lot of
just,
areas that you can navigate around it and get close enough
yeah,
and still
that
explore everything. And well,
true.
and I mean, yeah, there's a lot of Airbnbs too, which not a huge fan, but Airbnbs that are literally right on the edge where literally the backyard goes right into national forest, and so you
Right.
can like have your own personal private access. It's amazing. So
True.
Oh
Very,
gosh, that
very true.
sounds wonderful.
Don't let
right,
what I say discourage you, because Yosemite Valley is a beautiful valley. The
oh yeah,
sequoias are beautiful,
it's very touristy. Yeah,
but it is quite the Disneyland thing now.
yeah.
Oh, my
I'm gonna
leg's
convince
falling
MJ to
asleep,
find a
man.
spot with me where we can stealth camp for the night or something, like sneak
There you
around and then go do some touristy stuff because we've already made it into the area.
go.
That's
There
the
you
goal. Yeah.
go.
Hey, Grease Monkey, how you doing, Terry? Good to see you. Um, Let me see. Now, I know you like sniping, but where you live now, there isn't much
No,
sniping for you.
no.
I'm glad you had a great time with Polly. I remember
Yeah.
one time I saw a video of you sniping, I believe, or it was with Polly. And
Yeah,
then
up
I
in
said,
Canada.
you need to hook up with Polly and do some sniping. And you're like, I'm with him right now doing some sniping
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's too fun. Well, it's funny too because so he met me down in here in SoCal. He was doing kind of like a Southern California tour and kind of hitting LA and meeting up with Dave from Gold Bay and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And he just randomly, one of his partners just randomly called me up and said, "Hey, we want to go dig at your claim again because it was a spot I had taken his buddy Martin out to before, and we found some nice gold and everything." He's like, "Hey, I want to come dig." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I was like, "Oh, what time you guys want to meet up there?" Like 1 o'clock, and this was like peak of summer in SoCal. So like I'm used to where we dig at like 4 in the morning and we're done by like 10 o'clock because it just gets too hot. And so by 1 o'clock, when we meet out at my claim in the area we're digging, it's already 106 degrees out there. And
Dang.
so he comes out there in his Paulino, like beanie, Canada beanie, and jacket and everything. And he starts breaking out in like heat hives and all this kind of stuff. But he had a great time. But we didn't find that much gold because we didn't really dig that long because it was just too hot. We had a canopy and everything. But it was a lot of fun. That's when I first linked up with him and dug with him and everything like that. And then that's when we finally, a couple months later, coordinated my trip up to Canada with Kyle from Crux and myself with Polly and I brought my twin brother up there as well and went sniping for gold and everything like that. And it was an amazing time. So
I got an
definitely,
idea for you.
yeah,
It might be a little comical, but I think it would fit you and Polly.
yeah.
Let's say in 4 years when you're back stateside, unless you throw away your passport and decide to stay in Australia,
Nobody would blame you. Nobody would
what
blame you.
what you
I was
do
gonna
is
say,
you take some 55-gallon drums of water with you, and you have a just all around your canopies, you have misting tips,
there we go.
and
Get all
you
bougie.
be like you're walking down downtown Palm Springs with all those misters around your canopy. Keep you
Oh,
nice and cool out there in the desert sun.
oh,
Might mess up your dry washing a little, but
hey, that I think it would dry so quick. I don't even think it would affect it. So, my buddy brought out. He had those like survival ice chests. Like it's like like body armor type stuff that you
mm-hmm.
can put in there. He brought it out one time. We ended up having not to pull it out, but it was kind of funny. Just it was another way to stay cool out there. So.
It gets mighty hot. I don't know if I've been away from that kind of weather for so long. I don't know what my body would do
Oh,
in
it's
that
rough.
kind of weather now.
It's rough, that's for sure.
Right, right.
It
Yeah,
saps the energy, and you gotta stay on your water intake, and Gatorades, electrolytes, things like that. Like even
right.
when and if you're not peeing every hour, then something's gonna go downhill quickly for you.
You definitely have to stay hydrated,
Oh
that's
yeah,
for
hydrate
sure.
pee. Yeah, yeah.
Um, if you all have any questions, let them roll. Now, what's been your most scariest situation? Um, both of you. Let's have Luca go first, though.
I'm gonna go pee real quick while you answer that question. You can tell them all about the truck and how you had to
Okay.
excavate your brother out quickly.
Okay. I would say the most scariest time in my thoughts is when our truck fell into a crack. I was panicking the whole time. I was like, when I just heard it, I was like, oh no, I'm getting out. I just unbuckled quickly because when I heard my dad said, "Oh, guys, we're in a crack," and I was like, "Oh," so I unbuckled my brother quickly. I just left everything. I grabbed my brother and I just ran outside. I was like, Finney, let's go back here because I was like, I don't want anybody getting hurt while this was happening. And
Right?
my dad was just in the car getting out and trying to make sure the car wouldn't like fall over. So he was
Mm-hmm.
grabbing a bunch of rocks and just piled, so that way he can move the truck backwards and uplift it. And then I was just scared the whole time. I was just trying to calm my brain and everything. I was like, we're gonna be fine, but I was just terrified. But
But you handled it like a man for your dad and Finney, huh, buddy?
yeah, I could tell my brother didn't understand what was happening. He was just like, bro, what's going on? And then I'd just be like, dad's just trying to get the truck out. And then it was just a whole thing while my dad was moving the rocks and everything. It scared me.
It was intense, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very
Mm.
intense.
Now, have you gotten the road out to the claim back in shape and whatnot? Get a
Yes.
excavator out there or something, or a
So luckily,
grader?
luckily a Jeep group came through that there's some mountain roads that they have to access through that area. And so
Mm,
they actually made their own side road and kind of mashed it down and kind of created an area for us to be able to navigate around all that washout basically. So it was kind of nice. They came through and created a road for us.
that's cool. Now, what's your scariest time out in the bush or um,
What was scary?
anything prospecting related? What was your most scariest moment?
Probably the scariest moment was when I was with Kevin. We call him the Chocolate Man because he owns some of the Mountain Chocolate, Rocky Mountain Chocolate franchises, and he's part of the
Okay.
GPA group and everything. We actually rolled up on a Sidewinder rattlesnake.
Ooh.
So we were actually, it was at not this, it was actually, no, it was 2 trips ago. for the GPA event, and him and I were hanging out at nighttime, and we had to, go pee, and so we started walking, and we were walking in the dark by our campers and stuff, and then we're like, oh wait, we should probably turn on our flashlight. So we stopped and we turned on the flashlight, and there was a sidewinder rattlesnake just 5 feet in front of me. If I had taken another step,
Oh man.
so luckily we were able to dispose of that snake and get him away from the camp. And luckily no one got bit. We did have somebody get bit the next morning from a gopher snake, but luckily it wasn't a rattlesnake.
Right. I'll take a gopher snake over.
I was gonna say, but they were so freaked out they didn't know what kind of snake it was, so they came running over with it, dead in a bucket, trying to get it identified real quick because they didn't know what was going to happen. So yeah, but that was probably the scariest.
It's a shame they killed it, because the gopher snakes take care of a lot of worse snakes.
Right, and even the king snakes. Yeah, we had the king snake that was roaming all around my camper and in my, underneath the carpeting and stuff like that. And we love him around there because he'll take care of everything else. So
yeah.
Have
you run across any coral snakes?
We haven't.
Well, that's a good thing,
Right, I was gonna say.
Their color pattern's really similar to, what is it, red and black?
Red and black. Yeah, there's like a little.
There's a saying for it.
Saying, yeah, I can't remember.
Neither can I.
Red and you're dead. Something red and you're dead. Yeah. I don't
red
remember.
And black, you're dead, and yellow and black, you're alive, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Bill, Ohio Relic Hunter, what is it? I know you're an encyclopedia on stuff like that, buddy.
No, definitely. I saw Yahoo Gold Prospecting with Terry was saying, got to get those snake gators.
Yeah, you might want to invest in that. That Terry's a gem, does a lot of gem hunting and stuff, and lapidary work.
Yeah.
I forget his original name now.
Right.
He's been part of our community for a long time. Red and black, venom they lack.
There we go. And I know, Rick, you were saying any big spires. Well, oh yeah, those tarantulas, man. So that was actually a crazy night. So we were doing a bunch of night off digging, and Finney was on flashlight duty. And so little 4-year-old Finney's sitting there with a flashlight, and he just was calling out every 5 seconds while we're digging, there's another one. And we got some of them on video, but just the vibration from the dry washers and the lights and the sounds were drawing all these tarantulas in, and they were coming from they were just dropping in our holes, just going right by the dry washer. And luckily, they're pretty docile and everything like that. But it's kind of creepy when you turn around and you got 10 beady eyes in the night looking at you and crawling towards you in your mining operation.
Right. I could imagine. Now, have you ever taken your UV light looking for scorpions at night?
We have, and we haven't found any there. We haven't found any personally, but some people have been able to locate them, and then they kind of let everybody know. I know they're more prevalent in Arizona, more so in SoCal, but still there's plenty in Mojave, and we found some. Most of them stay underneath some of the campers and stuff like that. We'll end up finding them.
Well, I've dug holes back there, and I'd uncover them while digging.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I found one in the rock face when I had a video I posted. We were actually digging a rock face, a crevice that was on the East Fork of the San Gabriel, and a scorpion came out. It was like a little nest of them, and they came shooting out while we were checking this little fracture in some bedrock, and we're like, oh, let's just
Did you jump?
I didn't jump necessarily. But definitely froze up pretty quickly because I was afraid it was going to crawl up pick that we're using to try to break apart some of the rocks.
Now, we had a guest on from Gold Rush Whitewater,
Okay.
Kayla Johansson.
Yes.
And her very first gold nugget, she still has it. It's part of a necklace now. She showed it during the show. She actually found dredging on the East Fork San Gabriel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a mighty bit, a lot of history up on the East
There
Fork
is.
San Gabriel.
And there's a lot of people that are moving some serious material further up than where most people hike to. There's a whole community up there.
Yeah, too bad that road don't go all the way up to the bridge of
I
no
know.
return.
It's yeah. That hike is it's a long hike, and then just the heat sits down in that valley, and the water's the only thing that can kind of keep you from wanting to pass out. So
Right. Scorpions aren't that bad, Rick. Or I mean, not scorpions. Tarantulas ain't that bad, and I don't think they'll
Yourself
even
on both of them, Ed.
Huh?
I said, speak for yourself on both of them.
Right.
They won't even really bite you unless you push really down on them, from what I understand. They're
They're
cute
pretty
little
docile.
furry things.
Yeah,
I'm trying my
Rose.
hardest not to put them in a position to have to bite me then, but I'd rather not. I mean, I'd rather to keep that position like 8 feet away from me in general. I think, yeah.
Hobo Prospecting says, I find scorpions here. They usually startle me at first. Did I miss the treasure? Beep. I'm beeping it because there's a young man here, but it is gold porn after all. So I warned them, guys. So they know.
It's good.
They know we use that terminology here, even though we do our best to be a family-friendly show for a family-friendly lifestyle. And that's why we have Luca joining us. I asked Luca, I asked Chris, are your boys gonna join us? They're more than welcome. And he said you probably would, but not your brother.
Yeah, Finney's actually napping right now still. He's conked out for his afternoon nap. So
I haven't seen
I could use an afternoon nap right now.
Right, I was gonna say, as adults, man, I would love to be a kid nowadays, because things that I was so not wanting to do, now I'm like, I want to nap, I want to be fed things, I want to not work, I want to play all day.
Usually, when I was Luca's age, my station was about right in front of the TV because I was the remote.
I was gonna say, back in the day.
Back in the day. So you told me that Pioneer Polly is one of your influences on. What made you decide to take your passion for prospecting and sharing it to the world on TikTok and YouTube?
It was not my idea. It was my twin brothers. I actually hated social media. I only had Facebook as for the military on deployments and stuff. It was a one way to be able to contact back home if we got access to any kind of computers while we were out there. And so I didn't even post on my regular accounts or anything. It would just be like some photos maybe, but really I was just using the messenger aspect to be able to let family know, like, hey, I'm safe, I'm good to go, type thing. And then my twin brother got into TikTok, and everything. And this was like during a COVID time frame and everything. He's like, hey, you should jump on here. People might like watching some of your stuff. Like, no one's gonna want to watch this. Like, this is just like, it's for me and whatever. He's like, well, at least you'll create memories, and it's, even if no one watches it, it'll be for you. I was like, well, I guess that's a good point then. So then I started filming it, and then I started expanding, and then you have you start making some videos, and I started enjoying doing all the video editing and all that kind of stuff. And then you start, posting all your stuff to different socials, and then you kind of get captured in all of it. But there's definitely a balance you have to find with it. That's one thing I will say, because there's kind of a pressure to always be putting out stuff and always be editing and doing all this and engaging with people. But you kind of, I think I found a nice little balance with it, where I can engage, but I don't feel like I'm being consumed by it and always in front of a screen in my face. So
now, are you, how should I, are you naturally as wacky on film in person?
Yes.
Without the camera rolling as
Yes.
you are with the camera rolling?
Actually, it takes more energy for me to act wacky, because now I'm like, oh, people can like judge me forever now, type thing, as opposed to when I'm doing a spontaneous all the time at home. People just get snippets of it, and if they don't enjoy it, they can walk away from it.
Right.
So capturing it on camera is more vulnerable to anything. And so but it's nice, because then you meet people like Polly and stuff who are just as wacky, and it kind of brings you out of your shell, and then you feel like you can be a little bit more natural with it, because again, it doesn't feel forced. It feels more forced to be more restricted and constrained than it is like what you just kind of want to get out there and do, and and the silliness of it and stuff. And it kind of curtails to where you don't, you're not taking it too serious. We're just out there prospecting, exploring, having fun, having adventures. So, and then Luke has become pretty good expert at filming himself now. He takes control of the camera now a bunch.
Cool, Luca. That's very cool, man.
Right on, Luca.
Yes.
Been doing he does all the live feed type stuff. When we haven't done it for a while, but he was doing all the narration and kind of answering all the questions and everything. And that way I could just focus on just kind of digging, and he would handle all the comments and everything like that. So
I think that's a great teamwork effort going on there. Like I think the two of you guys together probably make a powerhouse team.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And it gets him away from digging. So he likes it. He gets to kind of get involved in technology. And I mean, kids nowadays are so much more savvy than
right
with phones and everything like that. So he's helped me a lot, and then he actually gives a lot of ideas and stuff. So that's kind of the cool part of it. And you can talk about it if you want to. Just kind of coming up with ideas and scripting it and things like that.
Yeah.
So do you I never did like storyboards and stuff like that, even though I probably should. I know Paulie does. I know Chris Vogas does. You do also. You set up a storyboard for your videos and have like the build up, the build up, and let's say the drama, and then the solution.
No, I
type
got you.
thing.
Kind of like building it out. We really don't. We've done it for a few videos just to make sure, and I took that from talking with Paulie and kind of getting some mentorship from him on it, because because when you get out there and you get involved with it all, you kind of forget what you want to film and what you want to capture. And so I have built out just a quick little Word documents of what shots and kind of like what we're looking at. And it's kind of a nice little cheat sheet, because as you're doing your thing, you forget like, oh, I should be filming this type thing, because you just don't want to leave the camera just running all the time, and so you're trying to get the different shots and everything. So it kind of gives you a script. It does help, but I've only done that maybe on 5-6 videos. Most of the time I just film stuff just on the fly, and I'm like, hey, do that again, or hey, hey, don't shovel that right now. Let me turn my camera on real quick, and we'll get some cool shots of you guys. Especially just the community and the family aspect, especially when Lucas showing his brother how to, run the tailings or the machine or things like that. It's kind of cool to just capture all those like little moments where they or you try not to let them know you're filming because they just are naturally like just engaging. You're like, oh, brotherly love, they're getting along and not fighting. So
Right.
yeah.
Pardon me. Now, I just saw a short of you when you were dry washing and shoveling, and you missed your hopper and nailed your buddy right in the stomach and
Yeah,
chest.
right in the chest. Yep.
And then you're like, oh, Barney Rubble running out of there. Now,
Yep.
was that all was
Oh, that was
that
scripted. That was scripted. So we've done that to each other multiple times, and we never have the camera rolling. And so it's always like, because I just use my phone, my iPhone. I do all my film editing, everything on my phone.
okay?
Nothing's on my computer. I don't do Adobe. I don't do anything. I just do it all on my phone and CapCut, and that's it. Um, so there's a lot of times where we do that kind of stuff, and then we're like, oh, we should redo that, and then we kind of think of a funny little idea with it, and then it kind of captures a moment that we had done already, but now we have it, for life, basically.
It's one thing after another.
Yeah. And we're actually, Luke and I were talking about, we're like on editing, because editing just takes a long time, because
Man, don't I know it?
oh, it's the worst.
Right.
We're behind. Like, I mean, I just put out the Oktoberfest GPA event, and that happened in October, and I just put it out this last week. We're behind like 4 or 6 months on content. So a lot of the content we're pushing out happened months and months ago, which is also kind of helpful because I know with the transition to Australia, we're not going to be able to get out there as much initially. So it'll give me some time to kind of like focus on editing. And I've actually started to go back and editing stuff that we had done long ago that, you just start learning editing skills, and you kind of see better, opportunities, start looking at all the analytics and try to see where you can kind of change it, make it more interesting.
You can also go a little crazy, find your older stuff and maybe do a best of, or a shorts of humorous moments. Like, so once you get enough footage like that, you can kind of dig in your reserve, but it's still time consuming. It still takes a significant amount of time to do it. So even though you have that backup and that time frame to help you with your move, the move itself is going to consume time. Like it's going to be a lot, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So I'm going to rely on Luca to help me out.
Luca, I think you got it. Honestly, I think that's your best bet. I think that you're going to get the best edits from it. So.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
He's trying to leverage this to get himself a phone.
There you go, Luca. You're the man, buddy.
Yeah, you would need a phone to do some real editing, huh?
He's like, I
What
got
about
it.
that? Give me a phone, I can edit. Totally won't turn into a fiasco.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So as a parent having a child on YouTube or on social media, are you finding yourself full of anxiety? Do you have any concerns with that?
So the wife and I did have concerns with that initially. But yeah, and we've had some stuff where I've had to ban people in a sense or block them and things like that, just because comments and stuff are inappropriate, stuff like that. Which is always going to happen. And we just keep it as PC as possible, and not try to create any moments on film that could be construed or perceived in any way, or someone could, take it in a way, type thing.
Right.
So I mean, you're trying to be protective, and we're not trying to make any of them child stars or anything. So because you start, and you're not trying to take advantage of it, because you see that with a lot of, you've seen it where parents have really taken their kids and just used them as a platform to get them, money or fame or whatever. And we're just trying to keep the family aspect out there. And again, we're just trying to inspire other families to kind of capture the moments, go do something. And, creating content might be another great moment and family bonding thing to do. Cause you see some pretty funny content with families nowadays, and
true.
It looks like they're having a great time. And I'm like, that's awesome. If that gets them to bond.
And what
Keeps the
you're
kids
doing,
off the
it's
screens.
good bonding
Yep,
with the family without exploiting your children like some
exactly.
channels have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a
100%.
difference. Yeah, we're talking about two different worlds, I think.
Yeah,
With having a good time with your family and exploiting children are
right.
so far apart.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, they are. Like I like the Outdoor Boys, what he does with his channel and his kids and all the adventures and stuff like that. Like, it's genuine, and so that's what we've always talked about, me and the wife. It's just like keep it genuine. Don't try to, do anything crazy or, stuff. And so that's where we've kind of just, kept the
Well,
moral
I'm
compass, I
really
guess you.
glad the family and you are enjoying this journey.
Yeah.
You're growing, geez, really well, and I congratulate you.
Thank you.
But you do put out great content, and I think you
Try.
did it. I think you put out very good content, and uh, the way I found you were through TikTok, and you said you pretty much started on TikTok,
Yeah.
and that's all short content,
Yep.
and um, you do it all on your phone. And shoot, nowadays it isn't like when we were
Mhm.
kids.
Right.
I'm not sure how old you are. You're still in the service, so I'd imagine you're in your
37.
okay. I was gonna guess mid 40s.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in your high 30s.
Yeah.
Um, I'm 62,
Yeah.
and I remember our first mobile phones. It's like a brick,
Oh yeah.
almost like a Earth. Ship to shore radio from the World War
Yeah.
II or something, some big,
Yeah.
huge brick.
I was a
And
Nokia girl. The Nokias,
I
that's
was
where I
gonna
came
say,
in right there. Yeah.
right. Where you
and
could
So
do
we're
that
close
little
in
flip
age.
thing and a little texting.
Yeah, playing
and
Yeah.
playing snake and stuff like that. When
Yeah.
text messages cost each text message, so when the
I was
parents got
gonna
the bill,
say,
you were screwed. You're in so much
right.
trouble.
Right.
now we
Well,
hold a computer more powerful in our hand than what Apollo 13 used.
Yeah.
and you're thinking about buying one for your 10-year-old son, which is you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I was
So
gonna say. I think we got some old, well, he's already found some of our old ones that are just lying in a drawer. He's like, can I
the
have that one? I was
graveyard.
like, the iPhone 6. I'm like, and we're like, we'll think about it. We'll see,
It's
At
probably
least
the
he ain't asking for like a iPhone 10 or something like that, or
No, he's not
what's
getting anything
now.
new. No, no.
Oh,
We're
sure, I'm
generations
gonna
behind.
get you a
Yeah,
$1,500 phone
I
right
know, it's crazy. That comes
The
out every year.
iPhone 6s can make incredible videos. Like
All right.
honestly, the older iPhones now can make insanely amazing videos. They can do
Yep.
all the editing you want. They're not costing ridiculous amounts of money for, something that may get broken very quickly.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Agree with that assessment.
My
now.
daughter, she's about to be 19 and I still don't buy her brand new cell phones. I think that's
Oh,
important.
yeah. Oh, no.
She can buy it herself if she wants to.
Exactly.
Right, Rose?
Exactly.
Uh, your kids have it better than mine, I would say. To mine, I would have said, well, you better start working because your
Yeah.
dad's too poor. So-
Mhm.
um, now, did you ever think you'd get this popular on any social
No,
media
not at all.
platform?
Not at all. And really, a lot of the popular, you have a few videos that go viral, like the one that went viral was the Home Depot video that I did. That was the one that popped off all my channels and then inspired Paulie to create his own. And he, Paulie's amazing because he
Yeah.
always reaches out to me and thanks me for, hey, like inspire me to do that video type thing, and so you just, you kind of, it's like rolling the dice every time you put out a video. You just don't know. And I know some people study analytics and everything, but I just kind of just go with the flow and put out what I would want to watch or what I kind of want to put out for people. And they
Right.
enjoy it, they enjoy it. If they don't, they don't. You're kind of like, whatever. So it seems to be, if you stay genuine, I think it grows, but I definitely did not see myself growing this quickly. Um, the opportunity that arose from it when I did get monetized on some of them, all my goal was to just be able to pay for the fuel and gas to go on these trips. That was it. Like I was like, if I can get if I can make enough money off of a video to every weekend to pay for the trip, that would be amazing, like type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it's been awesome to be able to kind of use that, and kind of makes the trips free, I guess, nowadays. So it's
Right.
so, and that's probably the coolest part.
Now, if let's say Discovery or Raw Television or another production company would say, I'm sure you've been contacted, haven't you?
Yes, yes.
And is it you say no because of the service, or
Um,
did you say yeah and there's something we can't talk about because
there's
non-disclosure agreements?
there's one in the works that I can't talk about that is that has a lot of traction, that's been going really well on but some of the other stuff, discovering stuff, they've reached out to me, but they're looking for more of the bigger operations.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've reached out to me for the Freddie Dodge and Juan show. If I ever wanted to start like a mining operation, they're more than willing to kind of get me linked up with that. But again, I don't have any aspirations to start a full-time mining operation. I don't want that headache. Um, being in the military and being a leader with this newer generation is a lot of energy, and I would love to just kind of do my own thing and kind of have just friends and family, and just kind of go meet up with people and drive that community. But it has been interesting, the people that do reach out though and do intrigue interest in different things.
Yeah,
um
I've been reached out to before, and each time I passed it up.
yeah, yeah, I think it's good to just kind of get your name on a Rolodex as an opportunity, maybe for something else, but I don't want to be a TV star. Like I don't want to end up on a
There
TV.
was a Nomad, I forget which production company, but it was going to be prospecting related, nomadic prospectors.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, I'd love to try, but I'm not ready for it.
Yeah.
And if you look through the show, we've had people on from Bering Sea Gold, um, Whitewater,
Yeah.
Devil's Canyon, Frozen Gold, Ice Cold Gold,
Yeah.
and I've heard some stories about it. Some of that's been some of the reasons why I've said no, not really too interested, but
Yeah.
if the right thing came up, I might be, because I think
Read that.
Sarah, Brad, are you watching? My bosses, or their son. Uh,
Yeah.
and Tyler, are you watching? Would your mom give me the time off to go to Alaska and be on a show or something? She might. I always bug them. Hey, want to grub stake me in a mining operation in Alaska? I'll talk to a production company and
Right.
maybe get a whole crew of construction workers up on a mining claim in AK or
Right.
Arizona or somewhere. But
Right.
eh, I like doing what I do, Chris.
Yeah.
I love
Exactly.
this live stream. I love the audience.
Yep.
I greatly enjoy the company and the guests I have, like you and your son.
Yeah.
But it makes me get lazy for editing because
Right.
there is no editing with live streaming.
I was gonna say that's actually. I mean, I watched this and I'm like, oh man, this seems kind of nice. Maybe I have to start doing live more again because it makes.
I think though the YouTube algorithm, the YouTube gods want to see content regularly at timed schedules, for a certain
Yeah,
amount of time. They want to see the repetitive videos. They want to see that coming out on the regular in order to get it. And I think when you want to lean towards the live streams, it might hurt you a little bit if you've been putting out that constant content for a while.
gotcha. And then that makes sense. That makes sense.
I'm
I know.
not saying don't do it. I'm just saying if
Yeah.
you're trying to keep that climb going, then you've got to keep the constant
Yeah.
content.
Yeah. No, definitely. Definitely. I got a whole laundry list of video ideas that are like, I have the content shot. It's just now I look at the list. I'm like, depending on how tired I am that day, I'm like,
Right.
which one's the easiest that I can
Right.
do quickly, like so
There's tools now for stuff like that.
right.
But
No,
And
Captain's
apparently
not-
really smart kids can help too. So
that's
I was
true.
gonna say kids. Well, that's why I like to stay on my phone too, because I've tried shifting to like Adobe and with the laptop and everything, but having to like transfer all your videos and content to your laptop to then upload onto your thing and then do all the editing there where you have to sit and do everything. I mean, I can do it on my phone, so I'll sit in meetings that are really boring and I'll just sit there and just be editing on my phone and doing chops and cuts, so being able to be mobile is nice and helpful. So
you doubt if you'll ever get to the point where you have a tower and monitors and using Adobe or something like that, huh?
I know I'll need to eventually, probably, but right now, with the military and a family life and everything like that, just being mobile and being able to do it on the fly.
You could have your editor, he's right next to you.
I know.
Like
I know.
Dan Hurd, he has an editor now.
Yeah.
I believe Paulie still edits his own stuff, but
Yeah, he edits his own stuff.
and Jeff Williams, Leela edits his stuff. So maybe
I know I have to train him. Train this guy to do it.
Yeah.
You're honestly gonna make a monster out of it, like this, you'll 20 years from now when he's retired and you guys are like vacationing together in like the wildest areas, be grateful for it.
Right, and who wants to be? No one wants to be a movie star or a TV celebrity now. They all want to be YouTube celebrities.
That's true.
Social media celebrities, because YouTube's pretty old, guys. YouTube's for the old people.
Right.
I guess I'm in the right spot then, huh, Rose?
Just teasing.
Well, we're going into overtime, and we have yet to show your gold. I've been asked about it a couple of times. So
more than a couple. Actually, I'd say Ed, you've done a good job of pushing them off for a little bit. So
well, keeps them here, keeps them watching. I don't want them see their gold, get tired, and go to bed.
Say that's not how it works, is it, guys? That's not how it works. They see it and then they get more excited, and then we keep talking about gold.
Right. Right. We got a nice little vial here, but we'll actually have Lucas show you one big piece that we found together. You got right here.
Yeah, that's my leg.
Okay.
I don't want anything falling.
Luckily, I have a pan right here for you. Yeah, that one right there. So you're probably going to want to show it out like this, like put it between your fingers. There you go.
And you put your hand behind it.
Put your hand behind it so that way they can see it, like this way.
Well,
yeah, there you
focus.
There you
it
go.
will focus
Perfect.
better on it. Ooh, look at that. Ooh,
that's at 0.98 grammer.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
You can show that one, bud. And then you got
Put some in my hand.
I mean, we got this whole thing right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, look at that pan. My goodness, look at that shiny.
Nice.
These are just this is like one clean out we did one weekend out in the desert on the claim.
Ooh,
But we got some nice. Trying to show it. Sorry.
don't you love that
Oh yeah.
sound?
Oh, that clinking. Yeah.
Yeah, don't
No,
just
some of these are
love it.
some nice coarse pieces. A lot of my other vials are all spread throughout different bags from different trips and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
Now,
um,
do you keep your gold separated? Like this is from Duesenberg, this is from Placer Peak,
yeah,
this
I
is
honestly keep it. I just start a new vial every time we go out, and so I might combine. I think I combined like 2 years ago from like the whole year. But for the most part, I just go out with a new vial, and I give away a lot of the gold too, because a lot of the people I dig with, it's their first time or
right.
whatever. And really, I just bring the gear out and I just let them dig and I help them process and I dig with them and everything, and then I give them the clean outs, or we'll split 50-50. We'll just go back and forth. I have a couple of buddies that don't have any equipment, but they love just going out with me. And so we just do 50-50 splits the whole time, where I get first clean out, they get second, or vice versa. And we just do that throughout the day. So, yeah. Yeah, nice
Nice.
vial there as well.
When you were tipping your pan, it reminded me of a time when my old co-hosts were in here, Toledo, Jess, and Dano, and we're in a pre-show right before the show, and Jesse's going through some material, and he goes to show us his pan,
Yeah.
and it
Dumps it.
pours water right onto his laptop, and
Oh,
he
no.
goes black. Boom.
Oh.
Daniel and I just cracked up and laughed.
That's awesome.
Sorry, Jesse. Time flew
Yes.
by. Thank
Great
you
show,
very
gentlemen.
much, Luca. Thanks for
Welcome.
sitting in with your dad. I greatly appreciate it, buddy. Chris, thanks so much for reaching out to me again. I was
Oh, yeah.
surprised when you did. I'm like, wow, cool.
You were on my list. It was like the list I had created. I was like, oh, people that reached out. I was like, the time and everything. No, so I appreciate you making time, especially on one of your Tuesday hangouts, to make time for me. So I appreciate that, Ed. So thank you. And Rose, I appreciate you guys.
Oh, I'm so glad I got to meet you guys.
What we do here at Tuesday Night Hangout Live, we share a common love for the outdoors and prospecting and treasure hunting.
Friendship and family and kinship.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
No,
and with an awesome global community, and I would be willing to bet that a lot of people in this community are also in your community as well.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. So that'll be good. And we'll definitely meet up and dig together.
One day, I sure hope our trails cross, Chris.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. When I'm out of the military, I can start doing this full time.
You're close, man. You're so close. My dad loved to say, 20 years and 6 days. To this day, he will say, I was in the military for 20 years and 6 days. So you're so close to that mark, man.
I know. I'm counting down. I got a couple of buddies that are same way. We're just counting down the days, and once we hit 20, we're like, we're gone.
and you did it young too. I mean, the fact that you're going to be in the 40s at this point.
Yeah,
when that happens,
42, and I'll be done, and I can start a whole new life. So.
Yeah, my dad, he became a teacher after that and taught for another 10 to 15 years before he even retired. So it's crazy when you get in so young like that, how you can have a whole nother life.
Yep. No, it's exciting. So for sure.
You'll be in my thoughts and prayers on your journey to Australia, Chris, you and your family. I'll be keeping an eye out for content from you, my notifications.
Yeah.
My IM box is always open to you, my friend.
I appreciate it. I'll keep you updated on the travels and everything, and hopefully share the first piece of big gold I find. So.
When you find it. Yeah.
And I know you'll be a day ahead, but if
Yeah.
you're able to come on and
definitely,
join us
definitely.
again while you're over there, you're always welcome.
Definitely. Definitely.
Next week, everybody, we have a metal detectorist on with us. He's been a guest before. Matt Howell from Gone Diggin'. He does search and rescue. He's a firefighter, but he's really into Civil War artifacts and looking for old Civil War camps out of Virginia.
That's cool.
Should be a really good show with Matt.
Mhm.
And you won't find out who's on the rest of the list until next week. I won't spoil it all for you. Let me unpin you and get Sister Rose back down here. I'm not going to adjust their screen this time, guys. It's too close to the end. Again, everybody, thanks for joining all of us here at Tuesday Night Hangout Live tonight. It's always a pleasure hanging out with each and every one of you in the live chat, along with our co-hosts and our guests. Until next time, may you always have a flash in your pan.
You know what he's gonna say next.
That's right, Rose. Maybe one day, too, we'll meet you on the river. It does happen, right, Rose?
That's
Right,
right. You live in the next 3
JP?
or 4 years.
Thank you all. Good night. God bless. And see you next week. Oh, God, get the right credits going. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, I know I didn't say, oh, and we're out of here. But we're out of here.
Great show, guys.
Thank you.
for letting us join you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.